Scottie Scheffler remains unbeatable as PGA Tour players will be bringing home even more bacon. Hey everyone, welcome into another edition of On Tour with Jon McCarthy, presented by Callaway, Rob Wong, and Toronto Sun national golf writer Jon McCarthy joining us back from Masters Week a couple of weeks ago. Jon, Scottie Scheffler, though, still basking in that green jacket victory, it seems, carrying it over into the RBC Heritage, picking up yet another win, his fourth of 2024. It's been a while since we've seen this level of consistency and dominance at times from a singular player.
Yeah, well, first of all, a happy golf season to everybody. I got back from Augusta and saw some golf courses open around me, so that's always a good time of year. But yeah, it's incredible what Scottie Scheffler's up to. It's the most dominant run of golf we've seen since Tiger Woods, and the four tournaments he's won this year. It's crazy to look at the venues he won at and the caliber of the golf courses that he played at. I mean, Bay Hill, which has been pretty much set up almost like a U.S. Open in recent years. The Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass, maybe the most difficult tee to green test of golf out there. He won there. Then he wins at the Masters in crazy wind and firm conditions. And then at RBC Heritage, it's supposed to be a course that really favors no one, strategic course, and he just keeps it rolling. So he has really separated himself from the rest of the world of golf. And it's interesting because last year we were looking at his tee to green game, and his numbers tee to green last year were sort of being compared to Tiger Woods in his prime. But the question was always, or not the question, but it was always, imagine if he could putt, because his putter was wonky last year. And it was almost like a bit of a joke. Oh, if he could putt, he'd win every tournament. Well, he switched putters, and he's almost winning every tournament now. He switched from a mallet putter to a Spider Tour mallet that is a lot more forgiving, and sort of the rest is history this year. It's been an incredible run, and one interesting thing is sort of how he's not fazed by anything. He looks unflappable out there, and he talks a lot about his religion, his Christianity, and it's a thing that we don't talk about much in sports media necessarily, but he is very he wants people to know that it affects his golf game. It's sort of, he considers that everything in his life has been written and he's just sort of living it out. And he's telling us that frees up his mind. It puts him in whatever zone athletes need to get into. There's different ways athletes get into it, but that's how he does it. And it's something that should be talked about, because he tells us every time he wins that it plays a large role in how he prepares for golf tournaments, and the run he's on is incredible. One thing we have to look at is he capturing the imagination of golf fans, sports fans, pop culture? And the answer so far is no. I mean, even in the golf world, I talked to some golf lovers, and they're saying, "Oh, Scottie Scheffler's boring," and it's hard to imagine watching that golf and saying the golf clearly isn't boring. And then he's not capturing the wider sports fan, the ones that sort of golf needs if it wants to grow the game. And obviously, he's not capturing the pop culture world that Tiger Woods caught. So there's still some questions about the future of golf with a dominant Scottie Scheffler, but there's no question Scottie Scheffler is dominant.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable the last couple of years. Meanwhile, there are a couple of reports this week that affect the future of golf's fractured landscape that we've talked numerous times about here. What's your read on the situation?
Yeah, well, the two reports are one is Rory McIlroy returning to the PGA Tour Policy Board. It's not official yet, but it's kind of interesting because he only left the policy board, a month or 2 months ago, and now he's coming back. And it looks, with the report today's Tuesday, April 23rd, and there's a report that players are gonna find out tomorrow how much equity in the new PGA Tour enterprise, the parent company that's being developed to sort of umbrella company over the PGA Tour, how much equity players are going to get in that company. So it makes sense that Rory would want to have a seat at the table for those discussions. And what that means is that Strategic Sports Group, a group called SSG, a bunch of NFL owners, they've injected $1.5 billion of immediate money into the PGA Tour. This is the money you've probably heard about. It sort of made it seem like the Saudi deal might not be that important, but this money was earmarked to player equity, which is sort of paying off the game's top players, not paying off, but making them whole so that they no longer have anything to complain about when they see Jon Rahm getting his $500 million and Phil Mickelson, all these guys getting paid over on Live. So this is their big payday, and the report is they're going to find out tomorrow what it's all worth. It's going to be broken down into four groups with the top players making obviously the most money, and down to to the rank and file players. But that number, it's important because it's finally going to end some of this animosity between the PGA Tour players that feel like they've been left out, if you can believe it, on the money side of things. It's going to be a sort of a vested sense that they won't be able to get the money immediately. So they're going to have to play on the tour for at least 4 years, it looks like. At 4, 6, 8 years, there'll be opportunities to maybe get some of the money out. But right now, it looks like the players are going to be getting paid a lot. And the question is, what does it mean for the future of the game? And that's the important thing, because besides easing some of this live jealousy, does it set up a reunion of the two sides of golf? Because now that the players are fully invested in the PGA Tour as owners, equity owners, it's in their best interest to make this business as profitable as possible. So we've sort of heard and we've laughed at for years that every player says, oh, we're trying to grow the game. We're trying to grow the game. Well, it actually now might be time where they want to grow the game, because all this money they're going to get could turn into much more money if the game and the company grows. So whether that is the last thing that's needed to get the two sides back together, we'll find out. But we are starting to see some of the things that needed to happen before these two sides get back together happen. And now only time will tell whether that means that a deal is in the cards.
Yeah, the ball continues to roll on both sides here, but as you mentioned, still no deal imminent as it stands right now between the two sides. But fingers crossed, maybe we'll be talking about it at some point later down the road. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. You can find all of Jon's golf coverage at the Toronto Sun.